Hi, Sean. Thank you for meeting with me today. I'm glad that you set up this appointment. I know that you have been having some um, thoughts about possibly returning back to school. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, really, I didn't go to college. I work as a chef, but I just don't make enough money to support me and my kids. So I really need something else I could provide for my family.
That sounds really great. That's awesome to hear, Sean. I am so happy to know that you want to provide a better life for your kids, give them a better platform maybe, so maybe they too can one day go to college. That would be really helpful for your family lifestyle. So, looking at your file, I see that you have two kids. Do you want to tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah, they're great kids. They go to school. They're honestly much better than I was at school. I didn't really go to school very much as a kid, other than when I had to. My mom didn't make me go to school, and I didn't. So when I was a kid, I didn't go from an early age until I was made to when I was older. So I was naturally behind, and then I just had to. I almost dropped out several times, and you know.
Okay. So you're telling me that school is something that's been like a little bit of kind of a nuisance and something that you had to do, and also something that's you're a little bit fearful of. Like you said, it was something that you had to do. So going back to school might be a little bit daunting. Is there anything particular that you're afraid of, whether that be like math or reading or writing or
Just in general, I have a hard time with most subjects, and going back, I'd be older than everybody there, so
okay.
it's kind of scary.
Yeah, that is definitely scary, especially when you don't really know what you're getting into. Do you have any ideas of what you might want to pursue? Like, are you thinking of maybe getting your AA at a community college? Because there are lots of people that go back to school at an older age, and there's also a lot of night classes and whatnot that can be available to you at your request. What are your current thoughts on returning back to school?
I think I might want to go and try to become a teacher, because I think that's really I see the value of education now, and I wish a teacher could have helped me as a kid, like help sort of see the value of education. So maybe I would be in this situation now.
That is so amazing to hear, Sean. I'm really happy to hear that, and I would love to help you pursue getting your college degree, and then being able to support your children more and being more involved in their school. That is a wonderful idea, and that is a huge strength. So I'm excited to work with you through this. So as far as that goes, we can definitely work on possibly getting you enrolled into the local community college. I just want to ask some other things that might be in hindrance of you during this time. Might that be transportation or childcare? What does transportation look like for you? Let's start with that.
Well, I have a car, but I don't have much money for gas. Most times I'll just end up taking the bus if I have to go to work, or my kids take the bus. So I'm not entirely sure how I'd be able to get there if night buses were a thing.
Okay.
That's a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, we can definitely look into that. We can also look into other options such as like carpooling and whatnot. I can be your broker to help you see what's available, especially where you live and the hours that you work. I understand that your hours are a little bit hectic, working night shifts as it looks like at your file, which can be difficult, especially raising two kids. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what your home situation with your children is like right now?
I would. It's okay. I don't spend as much time with them as I wish I could, because I have to work, and my hours. I usually work at nights when they're home from school, and my roommate, actually, she takes care of them a lot of the time, but there's just something off about her. I'm not entirely sure. I think I should spend more time with my kids rather than her.
Okay, so your roommate helps babysit your kids. Are you close with this roommate? Like, how do you feel comfortable with her being around your children?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with her being around my children, but she's an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she might be stealing from me, but I'm not. I don't have anything to back this up, but there's just something off.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand what it's like to have a roommate that you don't necessarily trust, and that can be really difficult, especially when your home situation can be stressful, then your life situation can be stressful. So something that we could possibly look in for you is maybe more affordable housing or something that can accommodate you and both your kids. And it looks like your kids are a little bit older. How old are they again?
They're 10 and 12.
10 and 12. Okay, great. So if you wanted to do night schools, an issue would be babysitting. Would there be a possibility of like after school programs do you think they might be interested in?
I think yeah, I think they both like school enough that they'd be willing to spend more time there.
Okay, great. After school is something that we can possibly look into. So right now we're looking at possible, well, first of all, getting you into community college. Secondly, we're looking into other transportation opportunities. I know that your car is kind of beat up and is possibly unreliable. And then after school opportunities for your kids. Let's see, what else can we talk about? So so what kind of other outlets do you have to distress? Since you're working long nights and you have your children, what are you doing to self-care right now?
Honestly, not much. It's just hard. Like being with my kids is something that helps me de-stress, but they're pretty young. Well, they're younger, so they could be a handful sometimes, and it's really hard to. Because when I see them, I also feel guilty because I know I'm not providing the best life I could for them, and it hurts. But
well, you're right here, right now. You're taking steps to better your life, which is amazing and great first step, by the way. Again, I'm very proud of your strengths that you're showing me. But again, like self-care, do you like to go out sometimes and like go bowling, or do you have any hobbies or interests that you look into for yourself? Because you definitely don't want to run yourself into a wall, and you want to make sure that you're being as healthy for you as possible.
yeah, my one hobby I'd say is cooking, but that's also my job, so it's a double-edged sword. I'll try to cook at home whenever I can, but that being my job, it's also like I don't want to cook all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like sometimes me and the kids will go see a movie or something, but that's not very often. We don't really have the money to do that.
Okay.
So
Well, self-care can be simple as like just taking a bath and just being by yourself for a minute, just watching some TV, just understanding who you are in that moment, and like really knowing what your stresses and whatnot are. It's a good way to take care of yourself, especially when you will be putting on this extra load that is school. It can be very difficult at times, and I know you are scared about you not being smart enough, so I feel like really practicing some self-care could help you along this journey. So that's something to keep in mind for the future. I know we talked about this a little bit before, but I just want to come back to it. As far as like your concerns about like not being smart enough for school and whatnot, is there anything that you think would help you to rehabilitate that? Would you be interested in perhaps like some sort of tutoring service?
yeah, I think that could really help. I think I have the capacity to like catch up, but it's just going to take some time because I'm really lacking in a lot of fundamentals. Like my math isn't very good. We can do basic math, but not really any algebra or anything like that. I can read fairly well, but definitely not at a college level. So
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're open for all of these things. This is, showing a lot of potential in you, and especially since the place that you were, with your history, I understand that you did come from some group homes and that your mothers did have some trouble. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, my mother when when I was young, she did a lot of different drugs and stuff, and there was a bunch of people coming in and out of the house all the time, and because of this, she wasn't really there at all. I was basically alone as a kid with just these random people who would come in and out, and then after she was arrested, I was sent to a foster home, and then went to different foster families throughout until I was old enough to, 18,
Yeah.
go out on my own.
Yeah, no, that's really a hard time, and I really commend you for pursuing your career and getting into vocational skills, and even holding the job that you have now to support your 2 kids. This is something really good. So again, thank you so much for coming. What's our time?
10:50.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sean. I'm excited to hear from you in the future. You have a wonderful day, and I'll see you at our next session.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.